Magruder in the left slot. Hill, right side, hit at the line of scrimmage. Tries to keep going. Does he get in? No sit. Touchdown, Midway. Oh, my. That took forever.
The Midway Weekly Podcast is brought to you by Bentwood Realty, Bird Culchin Ford, Bubba's 33, and Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. Now, here's David Smoke.
We're back week 3 of the high school football season. Midway 0-2 after the long trip and tough loss to Permian out in Odessa, and now in a neutral game at Mary Hardin Baylor at Crew Stadium against Vandegrift. Shane Anderson, head coach at Midway, with us, and 0-2, tough, frustrating, especially the last quarter and a half. But let's discuss Drew Sanders and Vandegrift. What a job he's done. From the very beginning, even when they couldn't play varsity competition, he has built that into a heck of a program.
Absolutely. You know, Coach Sanders is one of the best in the business, and, he's taken that program, and, I know he's had opportunities to leave that program, and, both of his boys have played for him, and gone through that program. So I know that had something to do with him staying as long as he has there with the success he's had. And, so it's a really good program, really good group of kids. He has really good coaches, and they've done a great job. They're a 10-plus win team year in and year out now.
They have been to the quarters. They've been to the semis. They've lost to really good people. It doesn't seem as if, and I'm not saying they don't have dynamic players, it's not like they're flashy. They have a receiver, Coleman, who's fantastic. The quarterback, Buchanan, threw for 42 touchdowns, and he's back. He's a Baylor baseball commit. They don't seem to be flashy, but next thing you know, you look up and they slam Cedar Park 45-0.
Yeah, they do a really nice job of executing their offense and taking what you give them. Obviously, the quarterback's the real deal. If you give him time, he's going to put it where it needs to be, and it's going to be on the money. Their receivers run great routes, do a great job, and then, like I said, they have a few more explosive playmakers than they used to, but they do a great job. And then defensively, they're just very, very sound, and they get after it.
How did this game come about? I know it's a flip, realignment. You're in a new district. You have 4 non-district games. But you have there's unique teams. You've played Permian now back-to-back. Mansfield's like become a good series. But Rockwall Heath next week, and then Vandegrift.
Well, Drew and I are buddies, and we've grown, a friendship over the years, and we stay in touch and kind of bounce ideas off of each other. And, like I said before, it's where we're located. It's tough to find 6A games. And so, especially now with the Colleen's all dropping, and the only 6A Colleen is Harker Heights, and they're in our district, so that's not a pre-district option. So you have to venture to the Metroplex, you have to venture to the Austin area, and then it's one of those deals. Like I said, it's if they're a good football team, then they're gonna have to travel to find games, and if they're not a good football team, they can drive 5 minutes and find a game. And so, it's just the nature of it, and everybody we play from the Metroplex and from the Austin area and out west is going to be a good football team, and so this is no different. It's a great opportunity. Coach Sanders' 2 boys are in the UMHB program, and so he had a little in there, and that's kind of how it all started.
Beautiful facility, beautiful stadium. Pete Fredenberg, the Hall of Fame coach, his name is on the field. Do you feel like, and I know that COVID knocked out the game with Midway at Permian 2 years ago, and then last year they were here, and then you went out through that. That's a long trip. How much of a grind and wear? I mean, is that something that you got to do? They got to come back next year because of the way the schedule is. That's a long way to go.
It is, and the bad thing for those guys out there, Midland,
that's all
Legacy,
they do.
Odessa Permian, that's all they do. Mm-hmm. And so
they're playing in Lubbock, I think. Was it Lubbock? The Amarillo or Lubbock this week?
It's second nature for them. They have a plan they stick with, and and like I said, I talked to Coach Hartman at Legacy, and I talked to Coach Ellison at Permian, and I talked to guys in the in Lubbock and Amarillo area, and hey, how do y'all do this? How do you do that? And so we felt like we had a great plan. I think our kids really had a good trip. We broke it up into 2 different stops, and then, like I said, the ride home was no fun. Would have been a lot more fun if we would have been winners, and that would have made it a little bit more enjoyable. But it was a long way, and it was and then you'd add the hour and 15, hour and a half lightning delay on that, and we didn't have as much excitement on Saturday as y'all did, but we it was a long trip.
Yeah, Paul Catalina and we woke up. We were going to fly back from Midland, Odessa to Love Field to get back in time for the Baylor opening game. And we wake up to a text that said our flight at 10:20 had been canceled. And there was no flight till 6, so we had to drive. Yeah, that was a long day in many, many ways. So it looked like the light switch had come on when you had come back from 20-0 down because it was a rough start, bad start. And then you have the ball, you're driving, the little pass out in the flat, and Dom, it's a lateral pass, they recover, and then here comes the floodgates again. Did you feel like the light had come on right there and you could have, that was a chance?
Well, I think our coaches did a good job of going in and really evaluating the first half and knowing that, we gave them everything that they had in the first half. And then, we had to make some adjustments, and our kids made those adjustments. We go down, we score, and then feel like we're on track to go down and do it again. And then, had the turnover. And then, a couple plays later, they're up 27-20, and then it's a pick, and then it's 35-20, and it's just like you said, the floodgates. But I think you have to use those moments as teachable moments. You have to use those moments as opportunities to show the kids, hey, look, we can do this. This is what we can do. We just have to be more consistent with it. And like I told you before, after the game, I told you earlier this week, it doesn't matter what level you're playing at. It doesn't matter if you're at Ratliff Stadium or at Midway Panther Stadium. If you turn the ball over 5 times, you're going to have a hard time winning the football game.
And 2 of them, you're going to throw interceptions you'd rather not. You're going to have somebody knock the ball loose you'd rather not. But you leave one on the ground on the first play, and then that one there was just really almost a football knowledge thing there. You got to know that could be a fumble. And those are the ones that frustrate you the most?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's things that you have to be able to not let happen to you to stop the momentum, and you work each and every day to have a game plan, to have a plan of attack coming off the ball, and we work it every day at practice, the first series of the game, and not one time do we work on putting the ball on the ground. So, it's one of those deals. It's like I said, you got to use it as a teachable moment, and we're really, really focused on us and the Midway Panthers and what we need to do to get prepared for district.
What I liked about that drive until the pass out in the flat that was a fumble, it would have been one of the first times you took the ball and drove it. The Thornton touchdown was a long pass, catch and run. The long scoop and score from Landon Wissington, which was brilliant right before the half, which was huge. And then Gully made a couple of nice catches on that next drive. But how valuable would it be for you to have an 8-10, 12-play drive for 75 yards and score and actually do things right the entire time?
It would be huge, and we talked about that as a staff this weekend, and we pulled up the tape from the first 2 weeks, and we sat down and physically counted, how many plays, each drive are we executing, all 11 guys, and why are we not executing if we don't? And, so we're trying to fix those things. And like I said, I think, finding a win, finding some success always helps. But, at the same time, like I told you, the last 2 weeks, all our goals are still intact. We've got to focus on district and getting better as a football team and focusing on us, the Midway Panthers. And, the next 2 weeks are not going to be easy. And, but it's at the same time, I think they're going to prepare us for district.
Vandegrift won 45-0 against Cedar Park. Used to be a power. They've struggled. Rockwall Heath put up 68 against Euless Trinity. That was mind-numbing when I saw that as well. Is there one thing right now that you're happy with? Not talking about effort, kids showing up, acting right. Football-wise, is there anything you guys are doing pretty well?
I think our kids are playing hard. I think, defensively we're keeping ourselves in the game. We're playing well enough, I think, defensively to win games. And then offensively, we just have to find our identity. And, and we've talked to the kids about that. And, I think we're getting closer. Like I said, we've got to eliminate the turnovers, and we've got to, have more consistency offensively. And like you said, put some drives together and, really find out what we can and can't do the next couple of weeks so that we are prepared for Hutto when district starts.
Got a couple of players that won't play this week just because it's a physical game. Donovan Jones is going to get a chance to play a little bit more among a couple other guys. The offensive line's kind of still a work in progress at a couple of different places. You saw some young – Wissington's a sophomore. it does seem like you saw a couple of guys that are younger that are making plays, that are hungry to get that extra opportunity.
Yeah, all of our kids want to play, and when they get an opportunity, they're going to go out there and play as hard as they can. And like you said, we're playing some young guys in some certain positions, and defensively we're really, really young. I think maybe 2, depending on who's at linebacker, 3 seniors on the defense, and then we have a sophomore starting on the offensive line. So we're still pretty young in some places, and like I said, we just got to keep plugging.
Shane, thank you, man. Good luck. It's going to be a 6:30 pregame from Crew Stadium, Mary Hardin-Baylor and Belton, a neutral site game against Vandegrift. We'll be on the air with our pregame at 6:30 on Sikkim 365 Radio online and also on 106.7 FM, The Eagle. Paul Catalina, Craig Smoke will join me. This is the weekly Midway Football Podcast, 365 Sports. Magruder in the left slot. Hill, right side, hit at the line of scrimmage. Tries to keep going. Does he get in? No sit. Touchdown, Midway. Oh, my. That took forever.
The Midway Weekly Podcast is brought to you by Bentwood Realty, Bird Culchin Ford, Bubba's 33, and Texas Farm Bureau Insurance.